Some information today related to the 1987 Nikos Nikolaidis picture Morning Patrol. I consider Morning Patrol to be something of a filmic masterpiece. Although it's the kind of film you let sink in. Visually, aesthetically, it bowls one over. It is an experience, it's a teleportation into another dimension, unlike a few films like it. It would invoke comparisons to the works of Tarkovsky or the works of Lech Majewski, perhaps. It's truly a mesmerizing experience. Some information related to the film I'm going to read out, firstly from Wikipedia, just the opening couple of paragraphs here. Morning Patrol is a 1987 Greek science fiction art film directed by Nikos Nikolaidis. It introduced a new iconography to Nikolaidis' work and contains several elements somewhat resembling the thriller genre and post-apocalyptic science fiction. The film has an elaborate yet simple script of strongly contrasting moods. The film's dialogue contains excerpts taken from published works authored by Daphne du Maurier, Philip K. Dick, Raymond Chandler, and Herman Rocha. It received the Best Director Award and the Greek National Ministry of Culture Award at the Thessaloniki Festival of Greek Cinema in October 1987, where Dinos Katsourides also won the Best Cinematographer Award, rightfully so, and Marie-Louise Bartholomew also won the Best Art Director Award, I think also rightfully so. The film went on to be officially selected for screening at Fantasporto in February 1989, where it was nominated for the International Fantasy Film Award. Nice. And it was also officially selected for screening at the Voriaz Fantastic Film Festival in January 1987, where it was nominated for the Grand Prize. What could have beaten it? Next, I'm just going to read out a storyline submitted by one Nick Reganas to IMDb. Having no recollection of who she is, what happened, or how she ended up with an inflamed wound on her arm, a weary woman meanders through the ruins of an endless, ghostly wasteland, uttering a soliloquy, scavenging for food and water in the carcass of a desolate post-apocalyptic dog-eat-dog world. All the woman knows is she must keep walking towards the west and fight tooth and nail to stay alive. Indeed, against the backdrop of global civilization collapse, there can be no heroes, and what's left of the cities is a death trap, silent, well-kept remnants among where the pitiless Morning Patrol has laid its snares for the unsuspecting ones who enter the off-limits zone. But with humankind on its knees, who can you trust? And if resistance is futile, are memories enough to keep us going? A couple of reviews of the film I'd like to read out. One is from the 24th of August 2008. Gantalf75 gives it a 9 out of 10. A post-apocalyptic nightmare. It's the near future, and a catastrophe, plague, war, who knows, has led the few survivors to wander aimlessly in the wild. One of them, a woman, wants only to go west to the sea, where she believes life could be better, but in order to achieve that, she must go through a ghost city which is guarded by the Morning Patrol, Proini Peripolis. Proini Peripolis is really far from Hollywood movies or blockbusters. It's just an artistic movie with slow pace, and its real power is the setting of grim pictures, atmospheric music, and isolated landscapes. Try to find it if you can, although the language, it's in Greek, will be a problem for foreign audiences. On the 21st of August 2010, from ProPast, a moving and intelligent look at the end of the world. But this masterpiece is so unknown, undistributed throughout all the world, as far as I know, besides Greece, is nothing short of criminal. In terms of tone, it's most comparable to a slower, more elegiac Blade Runner. There's the same pervading sense of despair of a deep, dark curtain coming down on the world. Exit stage right. It follows an unnamed woman wandering through a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The people she comes across generally try to kill her if she doesn't try to kill them first. Communication seems to have fallen by the wayside, and all the dialogue we get is the woman's internal monologue, a haze of sentimental memories and a longing for a better time. She works her way into a city where food, shelter, and water are comparatively plentiful. It's every bit as much a wasteland as the outside world, but of a very different kind. Abandoned technology makes its presence known constantly, including a memorable scene where the woman sits alone in the movie theater, but for the unseen assailants slowly climbing and crawling over seats, working their way toward her. And that's very, very impressive. She meets a guard of the Morning Patrol, a kind of task force that has taken it upon itself to kill everyone it becomes aware of. Their job is more a mercy in this kind of world, and although their technological, inhuman precision marks them as the bad guys, they're practically saviors when life itself becomes an enemy. I won't go farther with that on the off chance that you're given a chance to see it, but either way, the plot is far from the point and doesn't unfold much differently than you'd expect it to. Very true. What does matter is a connection established between two nameless, faceless people floating in a void of memory and space, a timeless land where life and death blur together, and the hope for a new horizon outweighs the need to exist. Alive or dead, it hardly matters. And now, most especially of all, we have Nikos Nikolaidis' own synopsis on the film. This is sourced from his website. A woman travels alone through a destroyed and abandoned city. She wants to pass the forbidden zone and get to the sea. Deceptive traps lurk everywhere. The morning patrol is guarding and they are on her trail. Electronic voices warn the non-existent citizens to desert the city. The communication system is working. Theaters are projecting films and familiar faces of older times fill the television screens. She is approached by one of the few survivors. Yet he is one of the men who guard the city now. He will help her get to where she wants, that place from where no one has ever returned, to claim that exists, the sea. Having a fractured memory in common, they will come close to one another. Together they will try to recall the past to make some sense out of this catastrophe. A story of love in an unbearable world, surrounded by violence and death. What point can it have? And his other comment on the film is this: "This is a movie that still scares me and I avoid watching it. I believe that it is a film ahead of its time, just like Eurydice BA 2037 was." I'm an enormous fan of Eurydice BA 2037. I've uploaded the video on that prior. And Morning Patrol as well is one of the more impressive films I've ever seen. I'm relentlessly envious of its cinematographic success. The realization of such a potent and powerful vision, few filmmakers can compare. This is one of the finest works of 20th century filmmaking as far as I'm concerned.